What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Guttural Corpora Cavernosa, entitled You Should Have Died When I Killed You. This is released on Gore House Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Taipei, Taiwan, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very gory, torturous, self-deprecating style of brutal death metal. Yeah. This is a band that has some very unique qualities to it because a majority of the people that are involved in this band are also in three very differing sort of brutal death metal bands from the same country. They all have ties to one another because they're all obviously in those same respective bands. Gore Maggot Colony, and Coprocephalic. All very different bands in their own right, but yet they have a very distinctive sort of style of brutal death metal. But with this project, there seems to be a high emphasis on cheesiness, horror film aura, and all that kind of stuff. And it showed on their 2012 debut full-length Munching on the Red Carpet. You can tell by the song titles, by the music, that this is a band that really they don't try to take themselves too seriously. They seem to just have fun and have a good time, and that's what they do with that record. And they put a heavy emphasis on riffs, guttural vocals, and just an overall smart and intense delivery. But of course, with the other bands that these guys are involved with, it's been quite a while since we had heard something from this particular project. Now we have the second album from Guttural Corpora Cavernosa, entitled You Should Have Died When I Killed You. It's 11 tracks, and it clocks in at around 34 minutes in length, and pretty much this picks up right where the last album had left off. But honestly, I think there's a lot more refined things to be heard on this record. And the one thing that stands out to me more than anything about this entire record would have to be the absolute best thing about this album, and that is the riffs. These riffs are so damn good. I love the emphasis of how these riffs sound throughout this entire release. When you hear the opening riffs on Blood Has Been Spilt to tracks like I Want to See the Light Leave Your Eyes and Does He Twist and Jerk, you just get some really awesome guitar riff work going on here. Very, very well toned. I love the slamminess that these riffs bring. This is pretty much a slam riff salad when it comes to this record. You get a lot of heavy, memorable riffs to be heard throughout this entire release. Even towards the later half of this record, you get some very intelligently done guitar playing. This is an album that really gives the main emphasis of how heavy these riffs can be. And like I say, I think this is the part of the record that stands out the most to me about You Should Have Died When I Killed You, and that is the guitar riffs. Excellent riff work all the way throughout. But how does the rest of this record sound? I think everything else fits into place and falls in very nicely. As far as the bass tones are concerned, very good sound quality, but yet, more than anything, this is a riff-orientated record, and I think the riff work overpowers pretty much anything else that this album has to offer. But I don't say that disparagingly, because I think everything else is handled well. The drumming is very fast and quick-witted, a lot of emphasis on blasting and heavy snare hits, and just an overall sense of trickery being done here with these drums. It adds the element, it adds to the pacing of the record, and I think everything goes along very nicely. A lot of the musicianship that's being done here, I would say, utilizes the fact that these riffs are going to be the main benefactor of this entire record, and I think it's very entertaining to listen to. And the vocals are fucking incredible, too. I like this vocalist. He does some really awesome stuff with Coprocephalic, and here with Guttural Corpora Cavernosa, he delivers that sort of unique, high guttural sort of sound to his voice. I think it's very intriguing and very entertaining. He's a very entertaining vocalist to listen to. My one gripe is that I wish that in some songs, you don't really hear his vocals all that well. There are some instances where you can hear his vocal style very audibly and very clear, but I think sometimes his vocals can get a little bit drowned out in the mix because of certain songs. You can hear them, but they could just be a little bit louder. If I had to really complain about one thing about this record, it would have to be that some parts of his vocals could be a little higher. But aside from that, I think Larry's vocals are incredible. He is always an entertaining, fun vocalist to listen to, and he really makes you want to just bang your head and get involved with these really slam-orientated riffs that this album has to bring. So, overall, this is a very, very entertaining record. If you are into brutal death metal, if you are into slam-orientated riffs, this album is full of them, and that is what makes this album so special. This is a riff. This is near perfection as far as the riffs are concerned. But overall, very solid release, very much worth recommending and owning. So, if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Blood Has Been Spilt, Remorse for What, I Want to See the Light Leave Your Eyes, They Would Wiggle and Squirm. Probably the best song title of this entire album. If anybody says their facelift doesn't hurt, they're lying. That's such a brilliant song title, and a brilliant song too. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to the Gore House Productions Bandcamp page where you can stream this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by it digitally, and it is also available as a physical CD, and I'm very sure there are combo packages available for this album as far as clothing goes or merchandise, so keep your eyes and ears out for that. So, again, the album is You Should Have Died When I Killed You by Guttural Corpora Cavernosa. This is released on Gore House Productions. Check this out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very, very strong 8 out of 10. Very memorable album to listen to. Lots and lots of great riffs to be heard. So, if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it and whether you're into Guttural Corpora Cavernosa. So, I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Army Ho out.